Hey folks, SSJ Pac-Man here, bringing you another hardware unboxing and overview. Today I've got the 2700X here. It is the new Ryzen 2000 series flagship processor, 8 cores, 16 threads, 20 megabytes of smart prefetch cache, 4.3 gigahertz max boost, 3.7 gigahertz base clock. And you will need a discrete graphics card with this. There is no onboard graphics. Taking a look at the package, man, I just saw this sitting here when I walked in to take this video. It looks so good. I'm really pleased. They did a great job with the Zen logo. I think it's attracted a lot of people to the product, to be honest with you. But this 2000 series, based on everything I've been seeing on it, it really looks pretty good. On this side here, you can see that it actually has the die exposed, so you can take a look at it. And on it, it says AMD Ryzen 7 2700X, and then it has the AMD Ryzen logo. It has this little QR code that I tried to scan, but I couldn't get anything off of it. After that, it has the serial number, some other numbers, and then it says diffused in the USA. I don't know what diffused in the USA means, but and then it says it's made in China. So I'm just really confused about that diffused in the USA. I don't remember ever seeing that on any other processor I've ever owned. The back of it just says that the box contains a installation instructions and the warranty, and also the thermal solution. Blah blah blah, 2018, not a whole lot to say on it. On this side it just says the box, this box includes an AMD Ryzen processor and thermal solution, installation instructions, and limited warranty information. So not a whole lot said on here. I think it's got some mounting holes if you're having it on display, but and then it has this really interesting logo here. I don't know if everybody can see that. When you turn it to the side, it does that. And then when you turn it the other way, it's supposed to turn green, but I have yet to see it turn green somehow. Anyhow, and then there's a little QR code on the top. I checked that out. It confirms that it is indeed an authentic Ryzen processor, yada yada yada. And that is about it. So let's take a look at what's inside. Come out of there, I don't want to rip my box. Ryzen badge and the actual processor itself. Nothing else in the box. Alright, so let's have a look at the actual cooler. I'm trying to remember if the name of this is, I think it's the Spire, but I could be wrong. Does it not say anything? This is part number revision A. Comes with a couple of little plugs for it. Both of them are teeny tiny. Let's have a look at them first. On this, you can see it's got the exposed heat pipes going to make direct contact with the processor. Solid copper basal platinum, or whatever you want to call that, where it actually makes contact with the CPU. Comes with 4 heat pipes, individual heat pipes, and it's quite the little beast of a cooler, from what I understand. It's not gonna get you quite as high on the X as far as liquid cooling would, and that's what I intend on doing. So, but we'll have to test this out in the future. And it has a little switch right here. It says L and H. I'm guessing that's for low and high, maybe on the RGB LEDs. Then right here, there's one of the little plug things. I might be selling this on eBay unless somebody comments and says, hey, I really would love to have it, yada, yada, yada. I might give it away then, but it's probably going on eBay. And then here's the fan power plug. So, on this unit, it both lights up the ring around the outside and the actual fan illuminates. A lot of wires in there. More wires in there than usual. Oh, maybe those aren't wires. That's just a support. Alright, so just the 2 wires. One for RGB and the other one for fan control, I guess. Fan power. AMD still is using this goofy bracket design. I wonder how hard it is to mount these days. But back on the Athlons, man, it was a real beast to try to get one of these on and off. Yeah, you really felt like you were going to snap your motherboard in half. So I'll try it out and tell you what I think of it sometime. But for today, it's not going on. But it definitely is a little bit weighty little unit here. I'll have to find my stock 2500K cooler, because Intel used to give you a solid copper core on their stock coolers. I'll have to find it and weigh the difference between the 2 stock coolers, just out of curiosity. So I'll put all this back in here. That way it'll be ready to sell and or ship. So, talking a little bit more about the 2700X, put this away. Based on everything I'm seeing, we're looking at close to 5 to 10% on average difference between the 8700K and the 2700X in gaming performance. The 2700K obviously is blown away. The 8700K on the 2700X is blown away. The 8700K on professional workloads, Cinebench and things of that nature, Blender. But gaming is, I think, what most people care about as far as it goes at the end of the day. This is not an LGA. I can't remember the name for processor when you have pins on it. Those pins have gotten much tinier than they used to be on the old Athlons. And when I had an issue with these in the past, if ever one came to me bent or something along those lines, they're pretty easy to fix. I just use a razor blade, guide it along the row. But I don't see anything wrong with this. Everything looks perfect. Pretty stoked. Processor feels heavier than I remember. I don't know if that's just because there's a lot more processor in here than on my old 2500K, or if it's just that AMD makes a better product. I don't know. They still are soldering their IHS to the actual processor, so that's fantastic. As far as thermal transfer is much better on the Ryzen processors than on anything made by Intel right now. There's your little badge. I'm actually a little disappointed with the badge. I'd like to see it a little bit more metallized, a little bit more robust, but whatever. Not a big deal. Just for flare and stuff because AMD needs more market share. Pretty stuff gets people interested. Cool names gets people interested, and I think Ryzen and Threadripper have really done that, and Epic as well. Yeah, a lot better than 25QR15 Xenon Platinum or whatever. I can't wait to get this in my new board. This is going to be going into an ASRock X470 Master Gaming, or not gaming, Master SLI AC Wi-Fi. This does come with a little bit of marking, or a little bit of instruction material here. Let's take a look, see if there's anything special that has changed that I should know about. That is some tiny font, 3-year limited warranty, yada yada yada. How to mount, how to plug in all the fans. Oh, it shows you on the TR4 installation as well for the Threadripper. So that's cool. Alright. One of the things I want to talk about as far as benchmarking this goes, I intend to be primarily benchmarking with the same program that I've been using for a number of years now, which is the PassMark software. I know that some people are not real into PassMark, but I've been using it for years, and it seemed to have done a pretty good job as far as on being able to predict and figure out what I should buy based on what's best bang for the buck and what should be more future-proof. So you guys should be able to see here the AMD Ryzen 2700X. Here, let's go back. AMD Ryzen 2700X scoring 17,083 on the CPU benchmark. And the i7-8700K, our biggest competitor, is scoring 16,000. So, and this is not a benchmark suite that I think favors AMD very much. So that's pretty great to see. If you go down to the 1800X, you can see it's down here at 15,400. So we've increased our score by almost 2,000 points. It's a pretty good increase. When we look here at the PassMark benchmark for single-threaded, you'll see that this is definitely not biased towards AMD whatsoever. Got AMD down here at 2,207 for the single-threaded benchmark for their CPU benchmark. And you've got the 8700K up here as the Crown King at 2,700. So it's quite a bit of increase. It's almost a 20% higher lead in the single-threaded performance according to PassMark. Now, if we go to Cinebench and things along those lines, you'll see a little bit closer results there. And then when we come over here to the overclock performance, you can see the 1700X is averaging 17,252 versus the 8700K is at 17,550. So it's a pretty good increase for the 8700K. Not a whole lot there for the 2700X. But you can get a little bit more detailed if you come in here and you take a look at last 5 baselines for AMD Ryzen 2700X. Now, I checked on this the other day, and there were different scores here. So these are all from today. The highest scoring one is this fella here. He's got his 2700X overclocked to 4.3 gigahertz. It's probably on all cores. And he's scoring all the way up at the 18,000 mark for 18,672 for the CPU benchmark. So that does bring it back to beating the 8700K. So I don't know, it may depend a lot on boards, a lot on memory timings. You know, I don't know if people are just overclocking and not changing their memory timings, but you absolutely have to either use your XMP profile or manually overclock your RAM, and you'll get way better performance out of your 2700X. So that 18,500 would bring it over almost to the point of the Threadripper would be sitting between the Intel Xenon E5 2687W V3 at 18,321 and the Threadripper 1920X. So that's pretty powerful CPU. Something that people can understand a little bit better. That would be about 1,000 points behind a i7 6900K. So food for thought. That's a $1,000 CPU. This is a $330 CPU. So I expect to get some pretty good results off of my 2700X, and I hope that I win the Silicon Lottery and I get one that'll overclock to 4.5 gigahertz. That would be awesome, but I don't think that'll be the case. So let's hope for 4.3, and that would be great on all cores. That's all I've got for today. I'm going to get my build on, and come check out my build vlog. Like the video, subscribe for more. I'll be doing all kinds of tests. I've got a couple of them already in my mind, whether or not it matters to have your PSU suck in air from outside below the case or from inside the case. That's probably going to be my next big video outside of just some standard overclocking and things that just me being happy over my new processor. So anyhow, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Get yourself a Ryzen processor.